You want to learn how to sew, but you don't know where to start? I got you. In this video, I'm going to break down the machinery, the tools, and the steps to get you started with sewing. Let's get started. So this machine is the most important thing when it comes to sewing, which is a sewing machine. There are so many different machines, brands, and styles of sewing machines. How do you know which one to choose that's best for you? I'm here to tell you that a thrifted machine is the best machine that you can ever start with, especially if you're just getting started. Brand new machines can range from $150 to $1,000. You can go to your local thrift store and get a similar machine for a fraction of the price that does the exact same job. And I'm going to prove that to you. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to find a sewing machine. Found one. $50. So this machine's worth $50. It has all the key components I need: the straight stitch, the zigzag stitch, the lengths. Everything looks in good condition. I want to make sure everything works before buying it, and by the looks of it, it looks in good condition. Sewing machine secured. On the tag it says $49.99, but I got it for $24.99. Goodwill gets everything for free, but it didn't hurt to negotiate. So I asked, is $49.99 the lowest you could do? And they dropped it 50% off for me. I will always advocate to get your machinery secondhand. Save your money and get it for cheap. Plus it's more sustainable, right? Picked up this machine for $24.99 and it works like a charm. Has all the key features that I need, and I didn't break the bank. I highly recommend to get your first machine secondhand, whether it's from the thrift, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, wherever. And you don't want to waste a ton of money on something you don't know if you're going to keep doing. So save as much money as you can in the beginning, and if you stick with it and you get better and better, then that's when you can upgrade. But if you cannot find a machine from your local thrift or online sources, then you can look into the Singer Heavy Duty, the Brother CS7000X, or the Janome HD. Okay, let's talk about the tools. These are the necessities to help you get started with sewing. First, let's talk about scissors and cutting utensils. You'll need paper scissors specifically for only cutting paper, and fabric scissors only for fabric. If you were to cut anything that's not fabric, the shears will become dull and it won't be able to cut your fabric as good anymore. So make sure you have a specific set for each job. Next is optional, but I really like having a thread clipper, something very light and quick to just snip off thread whenever needed. And then rulers. Specifically get this ruler, a 2x12-inch ruler, and it has the grids of 1 to 8 of an inch to get more precise measurements when sewing. Optional, but I think is really helpful, are French curves. These are used to help you get better curves on your pattern drafting. Seam ripper, this helps you rip seams off. Chalk, I like using wax chalk because whenever you press it down with an iron, the chalk will go away, but you can use any chalk that helps your needs. Since you're starting out, I would recommend getting all-purpose thread. Last but not least are pins and clips. Super helpful to keep your fabric in place. Also need an iron, and you can pretty much find everything at your local fabric store or Amazon. Okay, now let's talk about the specs of the machine. This is the setting where you can change the stitch style. Here we have the zigzag, buttonholes, and all these other ones, but we're only going to focus on the straight stitch for today. Moving over here is the stitch length. Standard is 4, but you can change it to 3, 2, in between 1 and 0 for the buttonhole. Here is the foot press, and this is the needle, and this is the lever to lift up the presser foot. And then here is the reverse stitch. You simply hold this down and it will begin a reverse stitch. On the right side of the machine, this is the hand wheel. If you were to twist this wheel, it will also move the needle. I'm going to place my all-purpose thread on the thread stand right behind here. Bring it around this hook and bring it back over here. With your bobbin, go from inside to outside and place it right in here. And you're going to push this lever to the right side. I'm going to turn on my machine, hold this thread straight above the bobbin, and now press down on the foot pedal. As you press down on the foot pedal, you'll begin to see the bobbin twisting. Now it's threading the bobbin. As soon as the thread touches this point, I like to stop it there. and right here is a good stopping point. And then go ahead and just clip this off. And that's a threaded bobbin. All machines are different, so you got to figure out how to insert your bobbin. My machine, you have to take out this bottom compartment, open up this latch, and there should be this bobbin case. It has this little lever that you can pull out just like that. Take your bobbin and put it in a clockwise motion. It should form a P. Take your bobbin casing and insert it just like that, and then flip this around. I like to follow the surface of this bobbin case with the thread into this little notch, and then bring it all the way down into this little hole right here, and I put it on the right side of this little point. From here, you'll insert the bobbin case inside here. Where this top notch is, you meet this point, and you should hear a click, and that's when it's in. Put all the thread inside this little case, close it up, and that's for the bottom part. Now let's thread the top side of the machine. Take your thread and follow it into this hook right here. Once you get it in between these notches, the machine will guide you where to bring the thread. You'll bring it down into this crevice. Once inside this crevice, you bring it down and you'll follow the arrows. You'll see this silver point sticking out. Go ahead and twist your hand wheel until it shows up. Follow that through. You'll notice that there's like this little hook where your thread goes in. Make sure that goes in. You bring this down, and this is where you meet with the needle. Take your thread and stick it into the hole of the needle. Now that you got it through, slide it in between your presser foot and under, and pull out the thread. Our next step is to catch the bottom thread. So we'll go ahead and hold our top thread to the left side. Begin spinning the hand wheel. While you're spinning the hand wheel, simultaneously hold the thread with tension, and you should be able to see a loop come out. Grab your scissors and pull this from underneath, and just like that, you have the bottom thread out. So now there should be two separate threads, one from the top and one from the bottom. And I like to leave about 6 or 7 inches extra behind the machine. The reason why we have extra thread behind the sewing machine is because when you begin sewing, the tension of the machine will pull the thread back towards the eye of the needle. So if your thread were to be short, it would suck up your thread and it wouldn't be going through. Make sure you have extra loose thread behind the machine. All right, now let's sew your first couple of lines. Take a blank piece of paper and draw 4 straight lines. Okay, now we have 4 straight lines. Let's go to the machine now. These are the very important steps to get your first couple of stitches. So go ahead and line the line with the needle. Get it underneath the presser foot. You're gonna press down this lever to hold the paper in place so it's not going anywhere now. For this exercise, I want you to practice being precise with the foot pedal. It's almost like driving a car, kind of like how SpongeBob had his big toe on the foot pedal. Kind of want to do the same thing with this. So practice going slow and steady to get a straight stitch line. And you can also use the hand wheel to help you out with the sewing as well. And I like to hold the fabric so I can guide where the stitch is going. And if you're really good at this, you can pick up the pace. When you finish your stitching, go ahead and lift this lever and pull the thread out until about 6 or 7 inches and cut it out. And this resets the thread. Now let's take a look at my line. Not too bad. All right, this is a good way to gauge how well you did. This time we're going to be practicing with the back stitch, the reverse stitch. So we're going to bring it underneath the needle, press down on the presser foot. Sew 2 stitches first, and I like to use a hand wheel at the same time. 1, 2. Once we get the second stitch in, hold down on the reverse stitch and do 2 backwards and then begin sewing again. Once you get towards the end, slow down, use the hand wheel to slow down, and then hold the reverse stitch again and get 2 stitches backwards. And just like that, you have a complete stitch. By adding a reverse back stitch, it locks in the stitches so it doesn't get loose. So now I have a box that I want to sew around, so let's try doing that. So I'm going to place down a presser foot and reverse stitch it. And I like to go very slow because this is a small square. Once you get to the corner of the box, this is called a pivot, meaning you stick your needle into the paper so it doesn't go anywhere. Lift up the presser foot. Now you see that the paper is not going anywhere because of the needle. Pivot it to sew around the perpendicular angle and then continue sewing. Again, pivot. Stick the needle in, lift up the presser foot, pivot, and then sew again. Once I finish off the stitch, 2 reverse stitches backwards. It's not the most beautiful stitch, but it gets the job done, right? With this exercise, please take your time, get as much practice as you can with this before sewing on a piece of fabric. The more precise you are on the paper, it'll translate very well to the fabric, so there won't be a lot of errors. Once you feel like you're ready, we'll go ahead and grab some scrap fabric and I'll show you how to actually sew these two together. This is my scrap fabric. This is the good side and this is the bad side. When we sew pieces together, we always put good side to good side because when we flip it out, they will match. But before we sew these together, we need to add seam allowance. And seam allowance is the distance between the stitch line and the raw edge. And the standard seam allowance is 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to do 5/8 of an inch across the raw edge. So I'm going to take two scrap fabrics, place them good side to good side, and draw a 5/8 seam allowance. Clip these two, and we're going to use this as a guideline to sew across. Bring the fabric underneath the presser foot. Sew 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then 2 backward stitches, 1, 2, and then begin sewing. Once you get towards the end, 2 back stitches. Lever up, pull out 6 to 7 inches, and then you cut this off. Now this is what the sewn fabric looks like, and that's how you sew your first piece of fabrics together. So now I've taught you the basics of sewing. We've talked about the machines, tools, how to thread your machine, sewing your first couple of lines, and then sewing some fabric together. When you get more comfortable, you should challenge yourself to make a garment from scratch. Whether that's taking your old clothes apart and reconstructing it, upcycling, using a pattern from online, or you can also watch my video to make a pair of pants from scratch. And if you want a video tutorial on how to upcycle or how to deconstruct your own garment, just let me know down in the comments. And we do have a Discord full of people who like to sew, fashion, gaming, etc. In the Discord, you can share your projects, ask for sewing help, fabric, etc. We have a ton of people who are willing to help. I'm very active on the Discord and I would love to see you guys share your projects over there. But I hope this video helped you guys out a lot. Thanks for watching.